What is up, everyone? Today we're going to talk about how to improve your cross-country time, and this includes anything from high school 5K to collegiate 8K and 10K, and also if you just want to get better at running in general. So here we go. So, for a lot of you out there, it's that time of year when you're starting to ramp up your training for next fall's cross-country season. And I'm here to give you some tips on what you can do to make sure you have a killer season in the fall and even have a strong base to carry you into the track season. Really quick, I just wanted to take a second to thank everyone who has already subscribed to the channel. And if you're new here, I encourage you to do the same if you're enjoying the content. But anyway, let's get started on this by covering what I think is the most important component of having a successful cross-country season, and that is your summer training. So essentially, when we're talking about the summer, that's an awesome time for you to relax, recharge, and prepare for the push ahead. And for that reason, I think it's a great time to focus on your training and really make huge jumps to go into your next season. And that usually comes from running more or running more consistently. And what this does in a nutshell is it improves your aerobic system. And the aerobic system is how you effectively utilize oxygen intake through your body. And this is usually done through easy runs and long runs, conversational pace. I think that's a buzzword that gets thrown around a lot, but I think it's really great. You should be able to run with a friend and have a full conversation with them through your whole run, and that is going to help you improve. This also helps make you a more efficient runner by building running economy. So what I'm trying to say is, the more you run, the better you're going to be at running. So if we're using an example, if you ran 40 miles a week last summer, you're going to see a huge improvement if you can run 50 miles a week or average 50 miles a week this summer. But everyone is different, so make sure to be aware of that and train with your coach and make sure you guys are having a successful program for you, the individual. So to break it down, I would say if you're looking at a 3-month summer build-up period, I think it's best to take the first month just to slowly roll into it. You're running easy paces only, you're running with friends, you're having a great time, and maybe you start implementing a long run by the end of that month. And let's say you're averaging about 50 miles a week, then you're looking at about a 10 to 12 mile long run on Saturday or Sunday, depending on how many days a week you're running. And then by the second month, I'd say you should start implementing 30 to 60 second flat and hill strides just to help with running economy and power push-off. This is really going to pay dividends if you can stay consistently doing this maybe 2 or 3 times a week for the entirety, or for the rest of the summer, really. And then maybe you're really starting to adjust to that and you're getting a little antsy to do something. Now, this is where you want to be patient and not overcook anything too early on. So if you're really looking to do workouts, I would say maybe throw in some easy fartleks or tempo runs. And this would include something like, for a fartlek, maybe 8 times, 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. Or if you're looking at a tempo, maybe a 20-minute or 3-mile tempo run. And this isn't at race pace. This is a sub-maximal effort. Maybe if you're training for 5K in high school, then you're running closer to 10K or half marathon pace for these tempo runs. And then if you're a college runner, I'm sure you're getting a lot more direction on this, but you're definitely running longer, so maybe you want to think about increasing the fartlek time or the tempo time. But you want to make sure you're building into it. You don't want to start off at 100% because then you're either going to get injured or you're going to burn out. And you want to be running your best when it counts, through conference and later. Finally, I would say try to stay off the track as much as possible and just enjoy getting on some beautiful roads and trails. And again, try and do a lot of this with your friends because you're going to get a lot more out of your training if you're enjoying it and doing it with people that you like. All that being said, none of this matters unless you stay healthy and you're running. And that brings me to my next section of this talk, which is focusing on the little things. So, my first tip for focusing on the little things is going to be to really build the habit of recovering over your summer. And this is because what happens when you run is your body breaks down. And contrary to popular belief, you don't get better when you run the hard workout. That actually breaks your body down. You get better when your body recovers and you make those adaptations to be even better the next session you run. And of course, this happens faster or slower for some depending on the individual. So you really want to make sure you're dialing it in for yourself. But a couple factors that are going to contribute to how quick or how slowly you're recovering are going to be what you eat and how much you sleep. I'm not going to tell you what you should eat. You guys probably all know what you have to do, what your body responds to as far as a healthy diet. But generally, the general principles are get plenty of protein and carbs to sustain and rebuild after and before your runs. And then also make sure you're eating whole foods. Try to stay away from junk food as much as possible. I know it's the summer, and I'm not going to tell you to not indulge from time to time, but try and push away that sometimes and make sure you're focusing on what you need to focus on to be ready for the next run and to be recovered for the next run. And I think something that may be even more important than your diet is to make sure you're getting a right amount of sleep. And generally, I'd say the best thing to do is to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night to really make sure that you're recovering. But also, I know we're all busy, I know we're all having fun, so I would say the best practice and the most sustainable practice is to make sure you're getting 7 to 9 hours a night, and make sure you're being consistent. So you're going to be better off if you have a good body clock and your body has a good rhythm for this. So try and go to sleep and wake up at the same time every day. And a couple more tips that you can do to really enhance your recovery is to stretch, to roll out, to ice, and to do your core. A lot of people like 8-minute abs, but I say 9-minute abs is even better. Go the extra minute, and I will put that somewhere up here so you can check out my video on how to build a very strong comprehensive core that doesn't just include your abs. So finally, definitely make a habit of putting a lot of these practices into your routine, either before or after your run, before you go to sleep at night, just to really enhance your recovery. I love the phrase, if you go to sleep tight, you're going to wake up tight. So make sure that you're warmed up and stretching your muscles every day so you're not compounding that tightness over time that may lead to injury. And again, this all goes back to being patient and being consistent. You're not going to see huge improvements in the first or second week. This is going to take months to really see these dividends pay off in the end when it's time to shine at the end of your season. You really don't want to overcook the early season. There's a lot of people who do this. I see this mistake a lot in high school and collegiate runners. You want to make sure that you're at your best when it really counts at the end of the season. Okay, so all of that was for if you're watching this in May or June and you have a lot of time to get ready for the cross-country season. But if you're watching this in, let's say, October or November, then you're probably looking for things you can do instantly to make sure you're having a better race. And I'm going to say that nothing replaces a great summer long-term base period. But here's a couple of mental practices that you can do to make sure that you're finishing strong through your season, even if you may have not had an awesome summer base building period. So my first tip for instant improvement in running is to change your mental state and to accept and desire the challenge. Cross country is the purest form of racing that I know. Forget about the time, go out there and compete. Have an awesome time competing and just enjoy the process. Now my final tip that I think is 100% effective rate, guaranteed at making sure that you get better at running and you instantly get better at running, is to have fun. None of this matters unless you're having fun and doing this in a way that's sustainable and enjoyable. That means running with people you like, running with friends, building a community around this, get by your team, really feed off your team, and enjoy how meditative the sport is. I want you to get into that mindset to where you are dedicating to self-improvement and enjoying the process and enjoying the pain. Love the sport, have more fun, and you're gonna see an instant improvement in your performance. So guys, I hope these tips helped you out. Let me know in the comments below something I missed or something you really appreciated about what you heard. And again, if you like the content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button, and until next time, you guys know the drill. Stay healthy, stay chill, and cheers.